Terry Gilliam.
All through this thing to college, by the end, I actually wanted to make films is what I really wanted to do, but I had no idea how you did it. Going and working on Help, I was getting paid $2 less than I would have on the dole, but I was doing great work. I mean, I was having a great time, and it allowed me time to do other things, like go to night school, film night school, which I only lasted a month in because I hated it. And I then got a job in a studio that did stop motion animation, dancing cigarette packs and things. And I got a job there just for free. The guy said, we got no money, we got no jobs. I said, let me just work, I'll do whatever, I'll sweep up, move. But I was in a real place with real cameras and real lights, and that was far better than the film school, which I thought was a lot of wanking, frankly. And just because I never learned how to make films, I just watched them. I'd saved enough money to buy my first Bolex camera. That was the key thing. Two things: Bolex camera and a tape recorder. And on weekends, there were three of us living in this flat, and I'd go and we'd write a little movie, and go out and shoot it. Yeah. Just to do this stuff and just play at the business of making movies. And we also did. We were always stealing film from trash cans and drawing on it, clear film, and then we'd animate right on the film and do things like that. So we were constantly doing the beginnings of filmmaking and animating.
Were you putting any of this stuff together? Did you edit? Did you soundtrack?
Yeah,
did you get stuff
well, we never get. It was always sort of halfway there. I mean, we'd get it edited, and the sound would maybe be just on this tape recorder. Nothing was ever put together properly.
In London, Terry Jones and Michael Palin worked together on a show called Late Night Lineup, continuing to build what was to become a long-term writing partnership. Terry Gilliam left America to go hitchhiking in Europe, whilst John Cleese left America to rejoin the cast of Cambridge Circus in a new venture in England, for the BBC.
While I was in New York, staying on, the others, doing the Tommy Steele and then aborted Newsweek and then Establishment. The others all got back to England and started doing, I'm sorry, read that again without me. And they brought Graham Garden in. And when I got back to England, they were happy to add me to the cast. So Graham stayed, and he was in many ways our best performer, because he was wonderful with his impersonations. And I did that show for a long time. I believe we certainly did 100. I don't know if I was in all of them, because as I said, I think I missed the first half dozen or so. And I used to regard it as a wonderful practice. It was like a net before you go out to the middle to play cricket. It was great. You knew that this was not as important as live television peak hour, but it was tremendously useful. And it had a chance for me to play off the audience. And if you do 100 shows, you learn a bit during that time in terms of technique. But the audience became so much an integral part of the program. Being a bit of a purist, I certainly was in those days, I got fed up with the fact that it was so much based on pun, which I did think was the lowest form of wit. So now and again I get a bit of material that I really like, but an awful lot of it I kind of think, the audience likes it, but it didn't feel to me as though it was the top class humour.
Through Humphrey Barclay's prompting, Eric Idle was also contributing to this new radio show as a writer.
Humphrey stayed in touch, they're doing a radio show now. Do you want to come see it? Do you want to write something? And they would give me 3 guineas a minute for that, so it was great.
Was there a feeling of the fact that you all knew each other? There was a small group who seemed to be, they were doing
It's sort of like that, but it's more like rock and roll. You know that group, those people over there. They're in Manchester doing this, you're over here.
Yeah.
And you didn't, now in hindsight it looks like we were all together, but in fact we're all having our separate lives.